This movie was really, really bad. It did get good reception, though, for some reason. I really don't understand why. It recycles the plot from the second movie, but changes it up just a little bit. The second movie, the plot is these people adopt a bunch of children because I think it was because they couldn't have a child of their own or whatever. Anyways, they adopt a bunch of children. They have the Annabelle doll, but they already know it's bad. They know it's evil. So they have it locked up in a room, and then eventually one of the kids goes snooping, somehow gets in, lets the doll out, and then the movie goes on from there. This movie is a babysitter taking care of a kid with parents who already know the doll is evil. See where I'm going with this? And instead of the kid finding it, it is a teenager that wants to see how creepy these people are. That they don't really explain it. She just like, I like creepy stuff, so I want to explore a person's house and just expose their private life to the world or something. And there's also a thing with her dad being dead and she was kind of the cause of it or whatever. It's not really important besides maybe one scene. And then she goes into a locked room and lets Annabelle out, and then the movie goes on from there. The only difference with this one is that there's like actual other things. Like the other ones, it's just a possessed doll that can make things move and scare the shit out of people and possess people sometimes. But this one has like werewolves and demons with horns, and it's just crazy. Yet they still don't do anything interesting with it. The werewolf just kind of shows up, scares the crush of the movie. He hides in the chicken coop. The chicken goes out. He tries to save it, but it gets too far out of his reach. So he just closes the chicken coop and hides in there, and then we don't see him again for like a good 30 minutes. And then we see him again, and he uses his guitar to smack the werewolf. The scene just kind of ends, and I guess he was able to defeat the werewolf with his guitar. Because later he is still alive. Somehow. No explanation for that one either. There's some demons with horns. There's one girl, I'm pretty sure she gets stabbed, but she, like in the stomach, and she survives. We never see her, like, tend to her injuries or anything. And, yeah. It's pretty crappy. The first two movies obviously weren't the greatest, but they had way more heart and were at least entertaining. This movie was just bad. The only thing I liked about this movie was one joke near the beginning where this girl spills tomato sauce and she gets some on her. This guy keeps trying to get, his employee to go clean it up, but he gets busy talking to his crush of the movie, and they both like each other or whatever, because they end the movie with them both dating or whatever, but I don't care. Because, like I've already stated, he was gone for half the movie. He didn't really matter. He hid it in a chicken coop and smacked a werewolf with a guitar and pieced out. He didn't do much. But anyways, the customer, in saying, since, he was taking way too long talking to the girls, shows up with tomato sauce on her that kind of looks like blood. And she says in a very dramatic way, "There's been an accident." And I thought it was kind of funny just by the delivery. But other than that, this movie was just straight trash. I did not care about it in the slightest. They actually try and do the Brahms the Boy thing for like 2 seconds. Maybe they were referencing it because it was rumored to have a sequel around this point, and then the sequel came out like a year later. After this movie came out anyway. But in like the very beginning of the movie, they're like, she's not actually possessed, people just like moved her around or something like that. Maybe I misinterpreted it. But that's what I remember. And then they quickly find out that it actually is possessed, and she takes control of this guy's truck and almost runs this dude over, but she just stops there. Because both of them survive. Actually, speaking of which, not one person dies in this movie. Not even one. Because the one dude survived the werewolf somehow. The parents survived the beginning of the movie. The little kid survives. The girl that got stabbed survives. And the one girl who I really thought was gonna die, when she's getting dragged down the steps and she drops her flashlight and stuff, I think. I don't remember how she escaped. Because that's how boring it was. But yeah, everybody survives. So, if you ever plan to rewatch this movie, if you decide to watch it, there really wouldn't be too much tension because you know not even one of them dies. Not a single person dies besides the dad, who was already dead. He was just mentioned to have died in a car crash that was caused by his daughter, but they don't go too much into it. Was she drunk driving? Was it completely an accident? But yeah, pretty trash movie. Don't recommend watching it. Just pretend this one doesn't exist and watch the first two.